Hey, welcome to another episode of Sports Talk. I'm Mirza here with my brother Mustafa. We're going to break down the fights that Dana White just announced, and wow, they are amazing.
Dana White went on Instagram Live and he told everyone, stop bitching.
That's what he said. His words.
That's what he said. He said, let me announce these fights and no bitching. Sorry for the bad word, but I'm just the same with Dana White. So I found it pretty funny. So, a lot of changes. First, we're going to go with Ilya.
Hold on. Sorry for the bad word. What are you, in grade school? Sorry for the inappropriate language. Is what you got to state.
Sorry for the...
That's what you have to say.
See, he's trying to be like Stephen A. Smith. Like I said, he comes, reads the dictionary before he comes, does a podcast episode, finds a few big words, and then just says it.
Inappropriate is not a big word.
Oh, I know. I knew you were going to say that. It's not a big word. But you come out like that.
Let's move on to the fights.
He's one of those people, everyone has one of those people in their group. He's one of those people that think they're smarter than they are.
Let's move on to the fights.
Let's move on to the fights. Ilya, did Connor do it?
Ilya Topuria?
Yeah. Ilya Topuria has vacated his belt. And Dana White on his Instagram Live said no announcement for his fight, but Ariel Helwani said it's expected that he's going to fight Islam Makhachev in June.
Wow, that's going to be an amazing fight. But honestly, I feel bad for Islam. And here's why. It does nothing for his legacy. It does nothing for his career. Beating Ilya does absolutely nothing. Ilya defended his belt, once? He's beaten Volkanovski and Max Holloway. Volkanovski he beat after Islam already knocked him out to begin with. And he beat Max Holloway after Max should never be fighting featherweight again to begin with. He should move up because he looked better at that weight class. So he beat a washed up Max Holloway, with all due respect, because I love Max Holloway. That's my favorite fighter of all time. And Volkanovski, also another GOAT. But he beat him after Islam knocked him out. How has he done everything in featherweight? I don't understand that.
But he can't make the weight either. So
okay, then just say that. Just say that. Don't say I've done everything in featherweight. No, you haven't. Jose Aldo did everything in featherweight.
Yeah,
Volkanovski did everything in featherweight.
People forget about the greats because nowadays everyone just wants to be a two-way champ. There's no defending the belt. People aren't taking the risk. Like, what about giving Diego Lopez a chance? We'll get to who he's fighting. What about giving those up-and-coming guys a chance? The new generation.
Yeah, I mean, now if you can't make the weight, you know what? Then just say that. You can't make the weight, you vacated the belt. All due respect, move up. That's great news. I'm looking forward to that fight. Islam's winning that fight 100%. That's a guarantee. But I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know if he's going to win, but let's move on to the other big announcements. So, the Miami card is stacked in April. UFC 314. The headlining for that is going to be... what is the headline? I'm confusing the Montreal card with the Miami card for some reason. The headline for that is gonna be there it is, Volkanovski versus Lopez. That's the headlining fight for that card. Big fight. Unfortunately, I think Lopez is winning, but we'll do our predictions after. Big fight. The card is stacked. There's also the co-main event is Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. That's another 5-round fight for some reason. Yeah,
I don't understand why the fight is 5 rounds, and I don't think a 5-round fight favors Michael Chandler, to be honest. Like, I think Paddy Pimblett is finishing him within 3, for sure. But I think if it was a 3-round fight with Chandler's gas tank and he just pushes the pace, I think he stands a better chance than a 5-round fight. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's good Paddy will gas out. Because it's hard to finish Chandler. It's not the easiest person to finish. But we'll see. We'll make a prediction when that fight gets closer.
Yeah, and there's more fights on that card. It's a really stacked card. But then we'll break it down closer to the fight. Because there's no point of breaking down the fight now when the card's in April. Another big news is Patricio Pitbull, Bellator champ, two-weight champ. Or I believe he was also PFL champ. Unless they're owned by the same company. Is in the UFC finally.
Yeah.
He should have been here a long time ago. He's fighting Yair Rodriguez. Tough fight. Tough introduction fight. I don't know. That could go either way, but we'll discuss that later on. Now we'll go to good old Canada. They're returning to Canada, Bell Center, Montreal. Bilal Muhammad versus Jack. I can't say his last name again.
Delamendova?
Della.
All right, Jack Della Maddalena. Sorry for pronouncing it wrong. Wow, what a card to bring to Montreal, though. We got Bilal Muhammad headlining Montreal, Quebec, United States card. No, I'm joking. It's still Canada. We're not the 51st state yet. So we got Bilal Muhammad versus Jack. I don't know how that fight's going to go. I really don't know. That's going to be a fun fight. They're both on a undefeated streak. They're on a hectic fight win streak. How much is Bilal Muhammad? 10?
Bilal hasn't lost in 11 fights.
Yeah.
And I think Dana White said
Jack. Just say Jack.
Jack hasn't lost in 17 fights, I believe, and he has like 8 first-round finishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is an insane record between both of them. Just to have that many wins without a loss in the UFC is just insane. In MMA, it's just insane.
So Jack only lost his first 2 fights ever, not in the UFC, and then he hasn't lost since. He has never lost in the UFC, and he just KO'd Gilbert Burns in his previous fight. Great event, and so for Leon Edwards, what they're doing now, because Leon Edwards was supposed to fight Jack, Leon Edwards fighting Sean Brady now, who's only lost once, 17-1. Tough fight for Leon still.
Yeah, that's a tough fight.
Tough fight for Leon. That's going to headline the card in London now, in England. So a lot of mixing matches. And the co-main event for this Bell Center card is UFC 315 in May, is Shevchenko versus Furet, I believe.
Yeah, Furet, the French MMA fighter from France.
From France, yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's undefeated.
She's undefeated. And it's going to be a tough fight for Valentina. I can never go against Valentina Shevchenko just because I think she's the greatest. But that's a tough fight. And I can see Firo, if I'm pronouncing her name right, pulling off the victory, to be honest. It would be an upset in my opinion, but I think she can do it. But again, I would still favor Valentina.
Yeah, we're not breaking down the fights right now.
I understand, but I'm just saying I have to bring that up.
I'm just announcing the new fights that got announced. And that's all, most of the big news. Also, according to Dana White, he's still working on getting the John Jones fight done versus
Tom
Aspinall, which everyone's looking forward to. And Furet or Menon Furet has 1 loss. I thought she was undefeated, but that loss doesn't really count. It's in Cage Warriors. Years and years ago. Her first ever pro fight. So she's undefeated in the UFC. Tough fight, but to beat Shevchenko is tough.
Yeah.
Very tough. So it's a good fight, good announcements he's made. I actually like the new matchups. They try to give Bilal what everyone wanted to see, Shafkat. But it's not Bilal's fault he denied it. He didn't deny the fight. It's not Shafkat's fault either, I guess. He's injured. So, according to Dana White, Shafkat's probably going to get the winner of this fight.
That's good. That's going to be a good fight too. But yeah, amazing cards, amazing fights announced. I think he made the biggest fight you could make in the UFC, which is Islam and Ilya. If that happens, he hasn't announced it yet, but I have a feeling that's to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's almost done. So that's the biggest fight I think you can make in the UFC right now. Or he also hinted that he's going to make the Tom Aspinall and John Jones fight, which that could also be the biggest fight. Either one. As long as those 2 fights happen, I'm a happy fight fan.
He could also, Ilya can also be fighting Dustin because he showed some interest in fighting Dustin and earning his title shot at lightweight. But I do believe he's going to fight Islam. So we'll see how it goes. Exciting fight news. I actually like the changes. The only fight I would want to see more was if Shafkat got to fight because, he's undefeated. I want to see if he's actually, the hype is worth it, if he can actually be a champion. He's a great fighter, but Jack is also a great fighter. Tough fight. It could go either way.